Hey everybody. Hope everybody's doing okay. It's November, greenhouse tour. I'm just giving you guys an update, letting you see new growth and stuff on my plants. Got some new blossoms and stuff on my orchids you can see, and my Nepenthes. Some of them are blooming. Got a bunch of new leaves on my Philodendrons, aeroids, all that stuff. Everything's got new leaves, especially if you've seen my last video. You can kind of compare the growth, I guess, from the last one. I hope you enjoy it. Let's start walking through here and I'll let you see some of my plants, and if you have any questions or anything, you can just leave them in the comments, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. I normally try to answer everybody's questions if they have any, or whatever, constructive criticism or anything. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Here we go, let's jump in it. We'll start in this greenhouse this time. So, I got some new Hoyas. This one's still not doing much. I think the top of it broke off, but we'll see what happens. This one's starting to put out some new leaves. Don't know what it is. Some more Hoyas. Growing all over the place. Rooting to the wood. Some Droseras. Not very good looking Droseras. These look good though. Some utricularia in the back. Orchids. Got some new blooms. I'm sorry about the light on this side of the greenhouse. When I point it this direction, you should be able to see better. Okay? You just have to deal with it, I guess. Pinguiculas, butterwort stuff. They're all looking pretty good. More Nepenthes. Cochioculus Drosera. And some spatulata Droseras. Let's get some Salginella stuff hidden back here for winter. I still haven't bug bombed the place. It doesn't necessarily need it, but all the plants that are going to be in here are pretty much in here for the winter now. Some baby Nepenthes. Small Nepenthes villosa. Macrophylla. It's got a new picture. Going. Some rust fungus or leaf water burn, which is typical, I guess, Oh yeah, let's look at this. We got a new picture on it. And the flower on it is just huge. I'm going to take some pollen off of it. And I did pollinate this with this. So this should be interesting. The pictures on this one, if you can see it, look like this. More flowers. jam-packed in there. I'll need another greenhouse soon. Heliamphoras. After being repotted, this one died, and it's not going to come back. When I went out of town or whatever to go install some floors at a fire station, some of these plants dried out, but nothing really expensive died. Now also I have propagations of like this plant right here. This, you can see this one, it completely dried out. I mean, the leaves, it needs to be repotted, but it was bone dry. But it's coming back. It didn't die completely, it just killed off all those bottom leaves pretty much. But you know, shit happens. So that's what it is. These are getting big. It's got a nice basil at the bottom of it. Any pictures? Yeah, you can see. This is a picture, an older picture, but that's what it's given me so far. I'm still waiting on some winter pictures to start popping out. Got ferns. Oh, new picture on my McDonald day. I'll show that to you if I can drop it. Look at this, guys. Goodness Lord. So beautiful. With that bright light. I didn't have this light on above them and was just kind of like, and see how green that picture is? How green it came in? That's because it didn't have any light on it. But this one came in and man, it's almost black. Actually, it's not black, it's more purple. You see I got some little basil offshoots, which is cool. It's like a $300 plant, or it was when I bought it. It's probably not that expensive anymore. Got a bunch of new growth. New picture coming in. Some neglected Nepenthes. Pretty common types, but they're still pretty. But they shouldn't be under that light. It's way too bright for them. You can see how red the stems get when they're exposed to high light. And yellow, they turn yellow in high light. This does too. You know, it's getting sunburnt, but it's okay. It'll be fine. Adiantium reinformis sinensis. This is a prehistoric fern. I think it's an endangered species, or it is an endangered species. And it's growing really well for me. Pretty freaking cool fern, if you ask me. Trying to get you a better picture. You can see the rings on the inside of it like that. Looks sick. Some more ferns. I think this is an Elaphioblossom. It's probably another one of my favorite ferns. Got new leaves coming out. The hairy fern. If I can show it to you, some hair. Well, it's hairy. Salginella. This one dried out too while I was at the fire station, but it's got green on it. I think it'll bounce back, maybe. Sorry about the fan blowing in the microphone. Some bromeliads, different kinds. Some typical, some of them not so typical. But that one's really getting big. It's a big plant. Alright, let's move on to the tropical greenhouse. Say goodbye until next month. And this one's just full now. This is crazy, guys. Like walking here. I mean, I don't really. This is my Carolina Reaper plant, by the way. Some Adansonii, Rhaphidophora, Tetrasperma. Climbing on the wall now, which is going to be a pain to remove it, but I'm just going to kind of leave all these here because they're awful. They're kind of typical plants. I could just come in here and just chop some of these off, and then I think I've got more somewhere. I'm sure I do. Like, I think that's Baltic blue pothos. Got some burl marks in here. There's some hidden back there, some calatheas. Calatheas back there on the floor. Lemon limes. These are all my lifesaver cactuses. And then here we are again. I know you can't see this very well because the light, but I'm not going to go on this side very much. So, pretty pink. I think this is a Strathome, or I don't think it's an aglaoneme. I know. I don't know. Something you get from Home Depot. Got a bunch of Syngoniums. These are Syngonium albos and Obliqua Peru. Yeah, like I said, you can't see it on this side. Varicosums are popping up. Syngonium Winlandii. Small. I don't know. I'm struggling with that. It's the Begonia Rex. Begonia Melambulata. It's got some new leaves coming. So it's doing alright. Begonia Raja Bellatifolia in the back with its bullate leaves. And those are the only ones that I have left. I got some mushroom stuff growing in here. Should probably spray that with something like sulfur. These are what's left of my Begonia Rajas, minus this one that's doing okay. I think I'm going to take this one and put it inside of a terrarium in my house. But this is what's left of all those beautiful Begonia Rajas that I had last year. And they got eat up with bugs and then underwatered, overwatered. Just, I always struggled with them, but not when they were in the terrarium. From a seed, they were so vigorous, they grew so huge, and then I brought them out into the greenhouse, and it's just not enough. I really think that Begonia Rajas need to have like 100% humidity. And they don't like to have a bunch of like soil like these. Like, this is still just a 3-inch pot, but like, I think they want to be like root bound. Even though this isn't root bound. I'm just saying, like, it's just a little old 2-inch tray, and I got like an inch of dirt in there, and I propagated that from a leaf, you know, from like one of these. I could still cut these and try and make more plants. I'll probably do that. Spanish moss, turtles. I think it's Peperomia prostrata. String of turtles. It's doing alright. I overwatered my beautiful string of pearls, and we'll see if it lives. But a bunch of the actual sticks died, or the strings actually died off, like you can see here. And when I try to pull them off, it can actually pull off the healthy ones, so I'm just kind of letting the dead ones just be on there for now. Peperomias, no, this is purple vine that climbs everywhere. I got this one pretty much died too, but it's still got green, it's still growing. Got a staghorn fern coming up with a new leaf. my Tillandsia. I think this one's fixing to flower. You see how it kind of elongates right here on this point. It looks like it's about to go into flower. This is just going crazy, but I can never get my string of dolphins to make like good dolphins. I mean, they're all mutated, but when they come out from like Lowe's or something, they always have big, beautiful dolphins. Not saying it's not growing alright or anything, it's just it's not growing like I expected. Scindapsus going all over the place. Pink princesses. Some cuttings. Oh shit. This is gonna be root rot now. Oops. Which all my calatheas just look garbage. Except for this is a new one I got. Which it'll die back too, like a corm. Like this one is. I just cut the leaves off of it yesterday. I hate calatheas. They're beautiful, but man, I just suck. Can't keep them alive. They come back and they do good sometimes, but if you let them get wet, then they will just rot and they won't come back. Which that hasn't happened to me yet. Pink princesses. This I cut all the old nasty ones off yesterday. Monstera Peru. Some pothos. Philodendron lichens. Got a bunch of those now. Most of those big lichens growing. Some pothos and some Adansonii and Monstera cuttings that I took from Rick's Monstera in the greenhouse. They're coming up. They're all pretty much rooted now. Yeah, so got one head popping up. There should be a bunch of other ones pop up in here, which is just typical, you know, Monstera, Anthurium, crystallinum, pretty. Alocasia amazonica. Bird of Paradise has got a new leaf coming out. Bunch of cuttings, silver swords, and all kinds of stuff. Elegans, Florida ghosts. Let's see something real quick. Yeah, Tortum's going crazy. This put out a big leaf. Big leaf. I got all these. I'm not sure if it was like this, but you can see, and I'm pretty sure this is rust. These little spots that I see on this leaf. But this is an old leaf. And I cut the top off of it. So I feel like this was already here, and these are just older leaves, but they still have the problem with rust or whatever this is. But I haven't sprayed them. Anyway, I did cut that variegated devil's trumpet or whatever. It was just a sport. I'm gonna try and root it and see if I can keep it growing through the winter. I know it would die if it was outside, but if it's a sport and it continues like it has been, I got a cutting in here and I took a cutting and put it in my terrarium until it roots. And these are starting to pop too. A bunch of cuttings, pink princesses. They got little shoots coming off of them now, which is cool. Should have a bunch of pink princesses shortly. I got a new leaf on my Spirits of Sanctity. It's starting to be pretty impressive. Monstera albo. New leaf on it came out a little more white than I'd like, but it's really pretty right now. Let me turn this back on. Burl marks. It's got a new leaf coming out. I can see it. Looks a little wet. This is a leaf it produced while I was at the fire station. Still waiting on fenestrations, but I'll update you when that happens. Maybe it'll be that leaf right there. It's coming out with a hole in it. Veitchii. It's a pretty slow grower. I think y'all have seen this leaf in the last video, but it's one of my favorite Anthuriums. See new roots growing. See some leaves dying. Skeleton Keys got a new leaf finally coming. It's a baby Veitchii. It's got a nice little leaf on it though. Here's again some more of those rusty looking spots. I don't know if you can see it. Yellowy. Maybe on the back side. No, you can't really see it too well. Yeah, now you can. Back through here. Looks like rust. It's an old leaf though too. No, it's not an old leaf, it's a new leaf. It's got a new leaf coming out on it. This is a new leaf for y'all. I think this is a Philodendron McDowell. Campus portatum. Beautiful leaf. Silver sword. Fingers. This is an elegans. Tillandsia up there. I didn't cut down my varicosum yet. Still got spider mites on it. But I did get some. What did I do with them? Oh, I took some more cuttings, or the cuttings that I took from the varicosums on that side. You know, because they got infested with spider mites, so I chopped them all the way down and made some cuttings. Chopped the big leaves off of it, and then these are the ones that actually started to sprout or had roots on them, so I put them all in one pot. Varicosums are bad for spider mites. Just saying. This is a new leaf on Philodendron Goldii. And this was the last leaf. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's got the same. Burl marks. This is a new leaf on El Chaco. Is that the newest? No, this is. El Chaco not so red. It's supposed to be an El Chaco. It looks like one, but normally they have like really red backs, and this one doesn't. I want one that has like sunburst. Like there's some Chacos that you can get that have a really pronounced red and orange like back, which is awesome looking. This is red emerald. Looking beautiful with its new leaf. This is a new leaf on Philodendron fuzzy petiole. That is a really cool leaf. Like, This is a cheap Home Depot plant. It didn't used to be available, but it is now. But it's awesome looking. Like it's got its hairy petiole. It's not really hairy, it's kind of like spiky feeling. It's hairy, but it's nasty hairy. Alright guys, I think I've showed you enough. Well, I didn't show you this, I'll show you this. New leaves. I chopped this all the way down because it had really bad rust. It's still got rust on a couple of the leaves, but I chopped all that down. We've gotten quite a few leaves. Not all since the last video, by the way. Oh, I didn't show this one in the last video either. Anthurium Regal Shield. Look at that leaf. Like, that's awesome. This was the last one. Had damage coming out, and it's just slow grower. I thought it was never going to put out a leaf, and it finally did. Beautiful. Alright, like I said, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. It's kind of long, but I just show you some of the stuff, you know, let you see my growth and all that. I don't necessarily do it for y'all guys, but it's kind of for, like, it's nice to go back last year and see what, you know, I did in here, or what I did in here, or what I built outside, or whatever, and just see my own productivity in a hobby that I really enjoy. Maybe one day it could be a business opportunity, but right now it's just a hobby. So if you have any comments or anything, ask them in the comments, and like, subscribe, and I'll show you the next video next month. See you guys later. Hope everybody had a happy Halloween too. Bye.